Hello everybody. Today we are going to start a new conversations course. Me with you, Miss Dalia today. Let's start the dialogue one with an everyday or daily conversation, daily dialogue that could ever happen between two new persons when they met for the first time in a new place like college or school. Let's see what they are going to say for each other. Let me introduce to you this dialogue or this conversation between the Professor Austin and two of his new students. Let's see what they are going to say for each others. James, good morning, Professor Austin. How are you doing? Professor Austin, good morning, James. I'm doing well. And you? James, I'm great. Thank you. This is my friend Emma. She's thinking about applying to this college. She had a few questions. Would you mind telling about the process, please? Professor Austin? Hello, Emma. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm more than happy to speak with you. Please stop by my office next week. Emma? It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Thank you so much for helping us. Professor Austin, don't mention it. Hopefully, I will be able to answer your question. As I told you, this is a conversation between the professor and two students, Emma and James. They are new at the college, new students at the college, and they want to know information from the professor, and the professor was very helpful, and he introduced his help for the student. Now, my friends, let's analyze this dialogue together. The first question was, how are you doing? When you meet someone for the first time, you ask him about how are he's doing. We say, how are you doing? How are you doing? So when somebody asks you, how are you doing? The answer should be, I'm doing well. And you? Yes, I'm doing well. And you? How are you doing? I'm doing well. And you? Question number 3. James and Emma ask the professor, as a new student, they don't know anything in the college, so they ask him for information. And they said, would you mind telling us about the process, please? So when you ask the professor for something, you should say, would you mind telling us about the process, please? So the professor met Emma and James for the first time. So he should say, hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. When you meet someone for the first time, you should say, hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. You meet your friend, a new friend in the college or the school or the work, anywhere, you should say, hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. The professor answered that he's ready to help, and he said, please stop by my office next week. Emma and James asked the professor for information, and he was very helpful. He answered, please stop by my office next week. When the professor offered help for Emma and James answered, thank you so much for helping us. So, when someone offers help for you, you should say, thank you so much for helping us. The professor answered, don't mention it. When James thanks the professor for the help, for helping him, he said, don't mention it.